everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad you could join me today. Today is going to be kind of a recap on where I'm at with the books I'm currently reading and let you know some of my thoughts on them, where I'm at, how soon I think I'll finish them, things like that. It's just going to be kind of more of a casual chat on where I'm at with the books I'm currently reading, and I'll leave links in the description below so you can check out some of these books if you like to. And let's go ahead and start with one that I'm still kind of on the fence with, and that is Perdido Street Station by Gina Mieville. I've been at this one for a while, and it started off really good. I love the prose, and I kind of got stuck in a rut with it as it moved on into the early parts of the story. I wasn't really sure where it was going. I kind of got lost at certain places, and it is kind of starting to pick up again a little bit for me. It's starting to get more interesting in the story, but it's been taking me a long time to read this book. One thing about me, if you don't already know it, if I'm having a really hard time getting into a book, it'll take me a long time to read it, and I'll just go and read something else for a while to take my mind off it, because it's just a grueling task for me sometimes. And I'm kind of a slower reader too, so it doesn't help if a book's not really gripping me, because then I read it even slower than I normally do. So it is a pretty interesting book, though. I'm just not totally sure what I think of the story. It's set in kind of a Renaissance England type of setting, but it's a whole different world, like an alternate universe. And it follows a scientist named Isaac who's working for this humanoid bird creature called a Garuda to try and help him learn to fly again. Or not learn to fly, his wings have been clipped, and Isaac's trying to help him manufacture something that will allow him to fly again. And the plot just really isn't gripping me. I mean, the prose is just beautiful. The descriptions of the world around them are just really intricate and pretty fascinating, but the plot just really isn't gripping me yet. And a lot of the characters in the book really aren't very interesting to me so far. And some of them are just kind of really weird too. I don't know how to describe it. I will probably keep with it for a little while and see if it gets better, see if it starts to grip me more. But as you know, I'm not beyond DNFing a book if I'm just not that into it. So this is a book that I may end up not finishing, but we'll see. More to come on that. If that does happen, I'll let you know. So, but yeah, and maybe if you read this book, maybe you can let me know in the comments if it does pick up, if it gets more interesting, maybe tell me, hey, Chaz, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, stick with it, I think you'll really like it. If you've been watching me for a long time, you know my tastes, so yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe I'll stick with it, maybe not, but if you've read it, let me know what you think, okay? The next one is Firesea by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman. You have probably seen my videos on the first two books, Dragon Wing, and my last video was actually on the second book, Elvenstar, so make sure you check those out if you're interested in hearing more about the series. This is the third book. It's a really interesting book. It's been giving me a whole window into the world of the main character, Haplo, and who is a patron, and a sister race is known as the Sartans, and They are featured more heavily in this book, so it's really interesting getting to hear some of the backstory of what's happened with those races. And it's this book is kind of centered on zombies. You know, there's a lot of necromancy in the book. The main driving thrust of this plot is kind of centered around necromancy and bringing people back from the dead. And that's never really been my thing, but it's written in such a way that it's really, really interesting, and so far it's held my attention well. So I'll do a review on it once I'm done with it, but yeah, so far I'm really, really enjoying it. So if you've read it, you know, let me know your thoughts on it too, and let me know where you're at in the series if you're currently reading it, or maybe you've already read it and what your thoughts were overall. One of my most viewed videos was the one on Dragonwing, because a lot of people do like this series, but it's not talked about much, and that's kind of sad. So, yeah, I hope you'll check it out, and I've been really, really enjoying it so far. It's been a fascinating read for me. Oh, and you may have noticed the little dangly thing here. My girlfriend got me this nice bookmark with a dragon on it, little gem in the middle that glows in the dark, and it's kind of cool, right? Yeah, it's a neat bookmark. So yeah, there you go, Fire Sea. And sorry for all the noise from my little dangly thing there. Roar. And the third book that I'm reading, yeah, I know I'm crazy. I read a lot of books at a time. I'll pick up one, go read another one, come back to it later, and I usually remember exactly where I left off. So it's pretty cool. I enjoy doing it. It allows me to be involved in more books at once. So, tangent. Sorry. Third book that I'm reading is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is the third book in the Mistborn series, the Mistborn Era 1 series, I should say. It is the final book in that series. And it follows Vin, who originally finds out that she is a Mistborn who can command all the different metals and command all of their effects as she needs to. So she's one of the most overpowered of people who are allomancers, who can manipulate metals for different effects. And she found out about her powers in the first Mistborn book, and this is the climactic book in the series, where she is now a highly sought after Mistborn, very powerful. She's married to the king at this point, and they are trying to make sense of a world that is now besieged by turf wars and things like that. It's a really, really interesting read. There's some creatures in here that I've never really totally cared for. The Koloss, they're like giant humanoids, and they have blue skin that kind of sags off their body because they're science experiments, really. And so because they're genetically engineered, their skin never really sticks to their body. It was kind of a malfunction in the genetic engineering process, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not really into them, but the story as a whole is really good. I'm really liking it. I'm about 100 pages in. It's about a 700 or 800 page book, so I've really been enjoying it. I haven't read it in a couple of weeks because I've been reading other books, like trying to read Perdido Street Station again. So I will be picking it back up though, and working on finishing that. So that's currently on my reading list that I've been just thoroughly enjoying. Brandon Sanderson is a magnificent author, And just a side note, I can't wait for the next book in the Stormlight Archive to come out. It comes out in November, at least that's the plan. So, Rhythm of War, I'm very excited about that. I read tons of Brandon Sanderson's works, not all, because he's written a lot, but I've read a lot of them. So, this is a really great series, and I've been really enjoying that. So, let me know if you finished the series too. Maybe let me know what your thoughts are, but please don't spoil anything, because I haven't finished it yet. So, shame if you give me spoilers. So, yeah, there is that one. And finally, the fourth book I am reading is Hyperion by Dan Simmons. This is a book that I've seen recommended for quite a while, specifically on one channel that I follow pretty regularly, Quinn's Ideas. And I'll leave a link to Quinn down in the description below. He is a fantastic booktuber if you have not checked him out. And he just released a graphic novel that looks pretty cool. Or it's not quite released, it's about to be released. It's on Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign right now. But it looks really fantastic and fun, and he is just a phenomenal booktuber, so you need to check him out. But I first heard about Hyperion on his channel, and it sounded really interesting. I'm kind of hit or miss with science fiction, but I heard so much about it that I'm like, okay, I've got to check out the first book, see what I think of it. And I first got it on my library app just to check it out, see what it was like. I was intrigued enough that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna purchase this book, so I'm not tied to the library restriction, because I'm never good with library books. I always end up having to be overdue on them and stuff. So I figured if I like it well enough, I'm just gonna purchase it. And I found it on Kindle for $2.99 or something like that. So I went ahead and bought it, and I've really been enjoying it. It takes place in the far future, although not too far future. Maybe the 23rd century in human standards. I'm trying to remember, I think I saw something about the timeline in the book, but basically Earth was abandoned a long time ago, and then there's this alien creature called the Shrike that a lot of people worship. There's a whole cult revolving around the Shrike, and humans have explored the far reaches of the galaxy, and they have mainly settled on this planet called Hyperion, which is the home base of the Shrike. And it starts off with a bunch of people on a space travel journey back to Hyperion to hopefully have an encounter with the Shrike, and hopefully not be killed by the Shrike, but be given a token of the Shrike's favor. And they all have their different backstories, and the majority of the book is learning their different backstories and how they came to be on this journey to visit the Shrike. So it's still early on in the book. I'm about 40% in, but it's really, really engaging. The writing is great. The character development is great. The world building is pretty interesting as well, although I'm still not quite invested in the world itself, but the characters and the plot and the story are enough to grip me and hold me there. So I will let you know what I think as I get further along in Hyperion, and let you know if it's a book I think you should read. There are 4 books in the series, I believe. So if I like the book enough, I will probably be picking up the rest of the books in the series at some point. Probably not till next year though, because I've got a lot on my plate for this year. But yeah, these are the books that I am currently reading, and those are some of my thoughts on them. I am really, really enjoying where I'm at so far, with the exception of that first book, the Perdido Street Station. I'm just not Just not sure where that's going to go for me, but I will let you know. If you've read any of these books, please make sure to interact in the comments with me so that we can dialogue and you can share your thoughts on them. No spoilers, of course. Unless they're minor spoilers, I'm probably okay with that, but I really try to avoid spoilers if I can. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of these books, or if you're more intrigued to read them. You can purchase them in the description below with the affiliate links if you're interested. And make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I am taking a break from social media for the month of July, with the exception of YouTube. So I will still be making videos for you, but you won't be seeing it on social media. So make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, and make sure that you like the video if you enjoyed it. Make sure to share with your friends and sign up for notifications. You know the drill. I just want to make sure that you don't miss out on my videos for the month of July, because I will still be making them. And more details on that in a video I released yesterday. So I will leave a link to that video at the end, in the links at the end of this video and in the description below, so that you can make sure and check out my other video, because I go into more detail as to why I am taking a break from social media. So if you're interested, make sure you check out that video. I'll leave the link at the end. And most importantly, folks, make sure that you are reading more books, and I will talk to you in my next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.